Week 6, renovating the ranch. For some reason, I am in a mood today. Really irritable. I made a list of everything I need to bring out with me. And of course, the one thing that didn't come out with me, which I thought was in my bag, was the key to the gate. Not a big deal. It just parked outside the gate, but it just makes, unloading and bringing stuff in a little more of a pain in the butt, but whatever, that's minor. So today, I got the hose link installed. There we go. It's functional. The way this works is you just pull this out, you use it, and then you just let it go, wheels it back in. So that's 82 feet on there, which is wonderful. The only problem is this, which I knew was a problem. So it's connected down here. This part, this right here, so this whole elbow joint probably needs to be replaced. I'm gonna put the drip system on this, but this leaks terribly, even though it's in the off position. That is crazy. Huge waste of water. So I gotta repair that. I'll just go get another one of those joints and replace it, because I don't want to waste any water. This is well water. It's a limited supply. Yeah, so anyway, there's that. Today my job is going to be, so tomorrow the compost comes. That's exciting. That's going to get put down here. There's going to be 3 beds made here. I'm going to use some of the long 16-foot long boards, two of them, to act as a frame for the compost while I lay it down. And then once it's down, and then I'll put straw in the alleyways, and then I'll water everything in. It's really windy out here, so I don't want the straw to blow everywhere or the compost to blow everywhere either, so I'll water all that in. So this area, which is to the west of the greenhouse, I have to clear all this out. We're not really gonna be able to get the bobcat back here to do much, and I'm not gonna flatten this part. So I need to clean all this out because this bed, the top one and that one right there, and then part of this bottom area is going to be used for perennial stuff that I've grown from seed that will just be here all the time. I can cut on some of it, but mostly it's to keep the soil covered, to keep the weeds down, and to look nice. So it'll be Rudbeckia, Calendula, Echinacea, borage, just all kinds of things that will bring in pollinators, look nice, and will be perennial. So this is a big old mess, and it's going to take me a while to clean it out. I think I'm going to start on the bottom, getting the hardware cloth out. It's just going to be a manual labor day, and that's okay. Maybe that'll help my bad mood. So I'm going to get started. Man, I know why the guy who was here before me put all this hardware cloth cages in here, but I really wish he hadn't. This is such a freaking nightmare trying to get this out. And I can't just leave it. I can't leave it and bury it. One, it's standing up, it's sticking up in most places, which is a tripping hazard. And it could cut somebody, could cause some injury that way. Two, if I tried to bury it, somebody years from now could come after me and try to till here. It would destroy their tiller. It has to come up. I'm making progress, but I'm silently saying not so many nice words in my head about this guy. And I also am finding lots of earthworms. So the good news is it's not dirt, which is inert. it is soil, which is alive. I'm sure it needs help, but having soil instead of dirt is a positive thing. All right, I finished my snack, which is an apple, almonds, and some extremely dark chocolate. This is 100% cacao from Dandelion Chocolates in San Francisco. I love super, super dark, really bitter chocolate. So that's what this is. Anyway, then I'm gonna get back to it. Morning, back out at the ranch. Got so much done yesterday. I'll show you that in a minute. The compost is coming this morning, and so I'm out here to get a little bit of extra work done before that arrives. And yeah, it's gonna be another really productive day. I had to laugh this morning when I checked in on my Fitbit. Of course, yesterday my Fitbit told me that I had 17,000 steps. 3,000 of those came from my workout that I did yesterday morning. This morning I decided not to work out and just to come out here because I knew I was going to be doing a lot more physical labor again today. And my Fitbit has that readiness score thing. My readiness score this morning was a 1, telling me I needed to take time to rest and rejuvenate. Well, I don't have time for that. So yeah, so things are just going to keep going, and maybe this weekend I'll have time to rest and rejuvenate. I got so much done yesterday. I was so happy about it. The camera battery died, so I couldn't record all of it, but as you can see, this looks very different from how it was when I started yesterday. I got the cages out of the bottom. I got the cages out from behind that new wood that I just put in. Those 2 cages are still there because there are giant tree roots in the middle and I can't lift them out, so I just need my husband's help to dig those out. And I'm backfilling as I go, which is awesome. So I'm gonna end up with, so there'll be a walkway here that I'll put landscape fabric on, and then this will be a planting bed. I've got my rakes out with me today so I can flatten it all out. That will be a planting bed, and potentially the top tier. I just don't know if I'm gonna open that up this season or not. And then I met a new person yesterday who I think is gonna help me flatten this with an excavator, potentially today. If not today, then tomorrow. He's a landscaper. My neighbors who were going to help me, they still would love to help, but they're out of town for a couple of weeks, and so I really need to get this part of the project done. But the main excitement today is going to be building these beds, because the compost comes anytime between now and 3 hours from now. And this company tends to be pretty early, so I'm excited. I think that I'll be able to get these beds made today. If not today, definitely tomorrow. And then by Friday, I should be able to start planting into them. I could plant into them right away, but this compost tends to still be a little hot. So I like to spread it, water it in, and leave it for a day or so, and then it's good to go. It's been a very eventful day so far. Compost got delivered, and my friend Griffin is using a little mini excavator to start leveling this field out. So yeah, you're about to see a bunch of stuff going on. major ground moving here. We're getting this area flattened. Griffin, who I actually just met yesterday, wonderfully nice guy with his own company, grew up around farms and been doing this kind of thing his whole life, offered to help free of charge. So I rented this, what they've got, Ditch Witch, and he's doing it for me. Best part is the Ditch Witch is picking up all that stupid harbor cloth. So my phone's gonna die real soon, but I wanted to do a little update. Beds are made. I need to get some more straw. There we go. 3 beds ready for planting. That'll happen real soon. Griffin is leveling out the area over there and it's coming along amazingly. I'm so excited. We're gonna build up the retaining walls and make it all work, but I'll have a nice flat area to work with. And then with my remaining time here today, I'm going to work with my rake on this area. Yeah, so it's all coming together. This is a huge amount of progress this week. I got to get more straw to finish off the beds here and wet them down real good so they don't blow away, and then I'll be planting into them this weekend. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Wednesday and there's a lot that has changed on this ranch property. Griffin did so much work yesterday, and I'm so just incredibly grateful. I will walk around real quick and show you guys. I am not going to be out here for very long today. I have a ton of things to do at the home farm, a bunch of dahlia cuttings I need to do. All the tubers have really sprouted a lot, and I need to take those cuttings and get them potted up. I have a lot of transplanting to do. Those snapdragons are beyond ready to go in the ground. So I need to go out and amend that soil a little bit in those front beds and add the snapdragons in. And I have a bunch of transplanting to do here too, but not quite ready for that yet. So let me give you a real quick tour of what happened yesterday, and that'll be it for today out here. Okay, so as you know, the compost got delivered yesterday. Here it is. It's beautiful, black, smells wonderful. And I got the 3 beds made. So that's 2 inches of compost on top of the cardboard. I wetted everything down first and then added the compost and then the cardboard. I'm sorry, the compost and then the straw. I used the long 16-foot boards, 2x4s, to basically make a frame in which to put the compost, and then I could give myself a pretty level bed that way with the back of the rake. And then I moved the boards, except for this one on the outside edge, and I'm putting straw in the pathways. I just need more straw. So I have a friend, I'm gonna get some from her because she uses hers for her chickens and it got super wet, so she can't use it for bedding right now. So I'm gonna use that and then replace that with some dry bedding for her. So that's one of my plans, probably for today or tomorrow. So the other big thing that happened was this. We rented a Ditch Witch yesterday, and Griffin got all of that hardware cloth pulled out. Look at that. Oh, that's a beautiful sight that I didn't have to do that with a shovel. So I just need to separate all that stuff and drag it over to the pile over here by the skip so it can get hauled away. But this is the new level planting area, and I think it's fantastic. So I'll come through here tomorrow with my rake and just kind of, level some things out and get rid of some of the scrap that might be still here, although it's pretty level. I still have some baskets to dig out, you see those, but that's gonna be super easy. And then when I do that, I'm going to keep those stakes in place, those rebar stakes, and I'll use the scrap wood to build new retaining wall here. Come down this way. Oh, the soil is so soft and lofty now. So I'll dig out the rest of these hardware cloth beds and replace the wood so that this area is basically bordered in. Then I can start shaping those beds. And then the next project, so I'll shape those beds first because I have stuff I need to transplant. But then the next project is this area. So I will come in, I'll pull up the rest of the cages. We didn't want to bring the ditch witch down here because it's a very uneven ground and that thing is kind of tippy and we were worried about it falling into the greenhouse. So that obviously would have been a disaster. So some of this will get just done by hand. I mean, it's possible we might rent it again, but we'll see. So this area I'm going to clean up. I will make another bed. You know, I'll have a walkway over here and then this will be planting bed. And because it's on just a very gentle slope, I'm not too worried about it. I'm not going to form another retaining wall down here. So there'll just be this one retaining wall. And then over here is this area that I showed you yesterday. I'm flattening out. I'm going to have a walkway here, and this walkway and the one over here are going to be, this year at least, covered in landscape cloth just to kill off the weeds. And I think sitting over the summer in the heat, there'll be nothing left under there. And then maybe next year I can amend the soil here and actually plant some stuff, some perennials maybe. Or even do what Charles Dowding does, and he grows a couple of like lettuces and stuff right along the edges of his greenhouse as like a special little border, and then he just harvests them. Let's see what else. Oh, and then I need to kind of cap this end off by building yet another barrier here. Once we'll kind of give it a nice edge, and then we'll build a retaining wall there just to hold that stuff in place. But we've got plenty of rebar stakes. They're everywhere. So we'll just hammer those back in the ground. But I am so pleased with this. This is like weeks worth of work, and look how nice and expansive this area is for planting. Now we are going to do some kind of retaining wall over here. Potentially cinder block, but we want to make sure that people can't just drive up and over into the property here. I mean, they would level out my flowers and stuff, but that's not even it. We do this more for security purposes. So I think we're going to put a wall, a concrete wall. We'll just you know, like a dry stone wall almost, but coming from that cement barrier that's just there. I think that might be some kind of Jersey barrier that they buried at some point. And going all the way down here, it's 35 feet to the mailbox. And we'll probably do 3 courses of cinder block or more. We'll see. He's going to give me an estimate later today. And then I'll try to see if the landowners are interested in pitching in a little bit of that bit for that. But that is where we stand. So, oh, and then the other big change is down here. So all of that soil had to go somewhere, right? We have it down here. So this area, when we level all this out, will be much higher than it was when we started this project, because it was very flat. I mean, it was very like swale-like in here. It was very low lying. So we're gonna drag this soil, level it out as much as possible. And this is another planting area, or an area where we could put a hoop house, which is actually my goal. I'm gonna try to apply for an RCS grant to get a hoop house so I can do the research project that I have planned. So all these seedlings in here to start with. I just watered them so they're kind of flat, but I've got my first succession of sunflowers there. Those are cosmos as well. We've got eryngium, California poppies, a couple types of yarrow, calendula, asters, marigolds, lots of borage, monkey flower, more asters, more calendula, more marigold. And then look at the lilies. They are popping. So you can see that we have an earlier variety and we have a late variety. The late variety back here, those guys haven't come up yet. They're the same ones that are in this crate. So that's cool. We'll have a succession of blooms, which will be great. Now, the only ones of these seedlings that are going in the brand new made beds are going to be the sunflower succession. So my plan right now for these beds out here is that far bed is sunflowers, which I sow weekly because they are one cut and then done. The next two beds are going to be celosia. One is going to be the plume variety, different colors, and then the other bed is the coxcomb variety. And then up here, there's going to be 5 beds, I think, maybe 4. But in any case, I have a plan for all of this stuff too, and that's where, like, there's going to be a row of asters, there's going to be a row of zinnias, there's going to be a row of just filler stuff, and I think I have gomphrena coming out here as well. So stuff that I can start out here sooner than I can start at the home farm because I still have all of my spring stuff in there and it's just starting to take off. Now the rest of these seedlings, the cosmos, the borage, the eryngium, the California poppy, the yarrow, all that stuff, marigold, that's all going to go here on these two or three bed areas. And then I'm thinking about making, instead of planting physical things, I mean, this whole hillside is plantable. It also is terraced. Such a mess. Anyway, I'm thinking, what if I made this wildflowers? I could clear off that tier and the one below it and just seed the whole thing with wildflowers. And that would give me this top tier, that tier, and the bottom tier for perennials. All of this stuff is stuff I've grown from seed because I'm trying not to, because I lease this land, I don't want to invest a huge amount in capital improvements that I can't take with me. So everything that I'm planting out here is stuff that I grow from seed. I'm not going to be planting my peonies out here or rose bushes or anything like that. All of that is back at the home farm. So that's it for today out here. 2 days of intense work. I actually have a migraine today. It's not terrible, but it's enough it's slowing me down. So I'm going to take today to do easy jobs like taking dahlia cuttings and transplanting snapdragons and stuff like that back at the home farm, starting seeds. And tomorrow I'll be back out here to start on, moving those piles, digging up what remains of the hardware cloth baskets, and just in general getting the whole area ready. I will have help this weekend as well because I'm bringing Mike and the kids out and they can help me get out the big stumps, tree stumps and stuff. They can help me with rakes and shovels to flatten this area out and just get it in general. We may even have time to build the beds on this flat area now. So yeah, it's really coming together. Very exciting. And that'll be it for today. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Good morning. It is Thursday. Back out at the ranch. Feeling marginally better today. So I'm going to get some stuff done. Have a whole bunch to unload. These are hoops for putting either netting or floating row cover over crops to protect them. And since I don't know anything about what the quote unquote pest pressure is out here in terms of animals, I'm going to protect what I'm going to plant so that I can head it off at the pass. So this morning, I'm going to install a 4-way splitter to replace the crappy 2-way one that's busted on the standpipe. And then I'm going to get started on installing the drip system. That actually is going to be in a totally separate video because I've had some requests on like, how do you do this? Can you explain? And since this vlog is already over a half an hour long, I'm going to put that in a separate video. But today I am also going to transplant some stuff into these 2 beds. I made one slight change. The bed that I was going to put celosia in, I'm actually going to put snapdragons in because I transplanted yesterday at the home farm and I still have 1 flat of snapdragons left. So I'm going to use this bed space for those, which is fine because the celosia is not ready to go in anyway, but the snaps are. Yeah, so that's it. First project of the day done, installing this 4-way brass splitter. I wanted to take this off, this old 2-way that's clearly busted, just doesn't seal right. But as I suspected, it is like welded on there basically. I used a vise grip and everything, couldn't get it to move at all. So whatever, I'm going to keep the hose link down here. These 4 are going to be for my drip system. I will have timers running off of them. And it gives me an option to have lots of different things going on. And so that's why I went with a 4-1. And even though I wasn't able to take this off, with these 2 valves open on the old splitter, this works great. So the water's on right now. Nothing's happening until I open these up. So it's all good. So I got some of the T-posts in. It is very challenging to hammer them in. I mean, you know how hard this soil is based on what I was able to broad fork before. But I also got some support rings in down there, and those are going to be so I can drape netting over them to keep the birds from eating the sunflower seedlings. So I normally don't like to use netting because it can trap birds and it can be dangerous for them. If you make it super taut, which I will be doing, very tight, then they can land on it and easily fly away and not get tangled up in it. So that's one of the things you must do if you're going to be using bird netting. So I'm not going to go into how I do all of the irrigation in this vlog because I'm doing it in a totally separate video. It's a little bit more involved and I don't want people having to watch this vlog for 2 hours. So, but I will put myself on time lapse so you can watch the rest of how I do this. First transplants on the ranch. So this is exciting. I'm going to put my sunflowers in, or the first succession of sunflowers. I have mentioned before that most growers who grow sunflowers sow sunflowers every week, so a succession every week, because they are one cut and then it's done. So you don't get multiple cuts off the same plant. These are single stem sunflowers. These are of the Pro Cut series, and so you want to make sure you have them throughout the season. So some growers have enough space where they're planting thousands or hundreds or thousands every week. Not me. I have 2 beds that's going to fit sunflowers, but that's fine because with these sunflowers, this is really interesting. If you want huge, huge heads on sunflowers, plant them far apart. If you want small heads, plant them close together. So they adjust based on their environment. So I am going to plant these every 6 inches. What that will mean is a good bouquet size sunflower head. Nothing too huge, nothing too small. Yeah, so I'm gonna go on and pop them in the ground. One of the reasons I love using this drip tape is that the emitters are every 6 inches, and I can just simply put a sunflower next to every emitter. So I know that they're 6 inches apart, so it makes planting really easy. Okie doke, wrapping up here for today, but I just wanted to show you what I've done. Like I said, I don't know what the disease pressure is going to be out here. I definitely don't know what the wildlife pressure is going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be deer and birds and raccoons and foxes and coyotes and all the good stuff that we have at home too. So I'm going to start off by protecting my stuff so that I don't suffer a loss and then have to replace it right away. These are the sunflower seedlings I just planted. They're real wilty because I just watered them and they're like, it's the heat of the day. So, but these hoops are holding up this bird netting, and you can see it's super taut. It's very tight on there. The reason for that is, one, with deer are interesting creatures. When they feel a barrier, they just stop. So some people can get away with literally putting stakes and a single piece of wire at like deer chest height across their area, and the deer will feel that as they're walking and then be like, oh, can't go there. So this will keep deer from eating the sunflower seeds, the seedlings, and it will also keep the birds from getting in there. But, and I'm seeing bees already, which is amazing. It won't keep the bees or the insects out. So that's great. So these seedlings will be safe. I mean, yeah, something could easily tunnel under there. And so moles, voles, that kind of thing, I'm about to take care of that by sprinkling some of my Repels All, which I'll tell you about in a second. This is all the snapdragons, this whole bed. I just watered them in. They were pretty dry. This netting is not bird netting. This is called Hortonova netting. It is flower support netting, and I actually use it on all of my flowers except for sunflowers. So basically this netting, you raise it as they grow, but pretty much you want to keep it at the height that they are half of their finished height. And so what that means is that it will keep them from blowing over in a storm or a strong wind, etc. But the bonus here is that it's also going to keep things from just easily getting in there to eat. So yeah, can things still get in? Sure, it's not perfect, but it is way better than just leaving them completely exposed. So we'll see how they fare when I come back out tomorrow. Hopefully everything will still be here. I have a feeling that the animals will find me this year, but I think, like most of the time when you start a new garden, the pests, the insect pressure doesn't really start till the second year. It like takes them time to find you. So we'll see how that goes. So this is Repels All. It is an organic product that really does a good job. Lasts up to 2 months. You can see all the little creatures on there. And here's what it's made of. Putrescent whole egg solids, cloves, garlic oil. And then there's other things like calcium citrate, diatomaceous earth, fish meal, fish oil, limestone, stuff like that, wintergreen oil. So basically these are little granules that you sprinkle all over your garden beds, and it causes irritation to their nasal passages. So when they touch it or taste it, they're just like, oh, this is awful, and they leave. And so I've been using it in my home farm after I had that disaster with all the rodents eating literally everything, and it works. I also use peppermint oil, a very concentrated peppermint oil spray that I spray around, which I'll bring out here too, which smells lovely, and it works as well. So these are the ways that I am keeping the wildlife from consistently destroying my stuff. Am I still going to have losses? Sure. But this really goes a long way, and it doesn't hurt anybody. That's my main goal. So I'm going to wrap up this week's vlog. I won't be out there tomorrow because I have a lot of other stuff I need to get done at the home farm. So I'll just pick up again on Saturday with a new one, and I hope to see you there. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.